Hey, right. Hello. Right, what we're going to do today, I'm just going to have a play around in Maya and create a monster. Oh, what have I done? Hello, Puss. That's my cat, by the way. I apologise for her meowing. What do you want? It's not time yet. She wants me to feed her all day, constantly. She's going to turn out like a roly-poly cat, you can imagine, but she's quite healthy at the moment, so I'm quite happy. Right, let's get some inspiration first. It's a bit too scary. Some inspiration for a monster. It'll be something funny. What about Cookie Monster? Um, Incredible Hulk. That's a bit too ambitious, I think. We'll just head for um, something simple, something that resembles what you would think a monster looks like. Tell you what, let's just go for it. Well, I like the eyes on that one, sticking out like that. Right, I'm just gonna turn my cat off. She always does this. The moment I start live streaming, she gets jealous. Right, let's create a ball first. Right, what is ball? Make it a bit bigger. This area here is anything smaller than this area here. It's pretty small, so you want it about, let's say, about that big to start off with. And just in case I use it in a 3D program, you want it um, more or less based there like that. Because if I take that into a 3D program back where it was with the mesh in the middle, when it walks, it would be half the body would be in the earth. So like a pivot point. Right, and I've moved the pivot point all the way up there, you see now. So that makes it a bit easier. Right, let's smooth that down a bit. So go to the modeling menu, mesh, smooth. Don't want it too smooth because there's too many polygons. But that's not too bad at all to start off with. And on your keyboard as well, the 1, 2 and 3 key, the number keys, smooth it down even further. But it's just purely for rendering, as far as I know anyway. Although it says there the triangles. The triangles are, see each one of these squares, there's 2 triangles in one of them. So if I press number 3, which makes it a higher number of triangles, look. So it is increasing the triangles. Right. So let's just get started. Let's create some legs coming out the side like that, so it's got a bit of a pot belly. First of all, what we do need to do is we need to make this all symmetrical, don't we? So when I pull a leg out, it's going to pull on the other side as well. So I can hardly see. Right. Symmetry. There we go. Right. Turn it on somehow. How do we do that? object X. So we want everything on the X plane, meaning, so if you move to the right, it moves to the left as well. If you'll see what I mean in a second. Y being vertical, Z being in the three-dimensional point, so it's coming towards you or going away. And then world X, world Y. So they're just for the surrounding area, sort of like an absolute, and these are like relatives. So I'll go for object X. Now if I select a face, one of these faces here, see what's happening? It's selected both. Look, and it's on like a mirror, yeah. So if I pull that, there you go. Look, see, that's a bit crude, but that's what we're talking about here. We want something symmetrical. So I'll go back, undo, Control Z. Now we want. There is sculpting tools as well, by the way. The old way of doing it was a soft selection. So if you selected one face, say, it would then sort of diminish in intensity going around it. So it's like a blur. So when you pulled it out, you just wouldn't pull one square out and tear. Because look, it tears. You see the tearing, the little flicker in there. Do you see that? That's the polygons coming across the limit of the stretch and sort of like mathematically losing integrity, if you know what I mean. It's like when material tears, sort of thing, same thing there. So, no, cat, no. Stop it. She keeps jumping up. No. Right. And there is a soft selection somewhere, but I'm going to try the sculpting tools. I haven't used these in a while, so let's have a look. Don't even know what I'm doing. Let's go work through them. That one first. That's not doing anything. Well, it is. You can see that, can't you? Look. It's like creating like bumps, isn't it? So we'll get rid of them. Obviously, the strength isn't high enough, is it? So let's remember what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create some legs. That's going inwards. Look, you see that? Yeah, that's cool. That doesn't look like what we want, but we'll try it anyway. Oops, what happened there? Right. Increase the size. Sorry about the sound going on outside. There's some works on the road outside. Right, strength is pretty high. Size, we could do increasing the size just a tad. A bit more. See, it flies off the scale if I go too far. What's going on? Strength. I don't think the resolution is high enough on the model. I'm just looking for an extraction type tool. So we were on that one, weren't we? Let's try this one. I think this is probably what we want. Mirror, object X, great. Right. There we go. That's what we were looking for. We need to get a bit bigger. And strength up a bit, maybe? Let's try that. go. Now what this will do, it won't increase the resolution as we go. So tearing will still happen, look. It's starting to act a bit strange on the edges there, like that. This probably isn't the best way of doing it. Yeah. So there's got to be a way of it also increasing the density, the resolution, look, instead of stretching individual things. What I can do is I can select the faces and increase the smoothness of the these individual faces. Yeah, I can do that. But again, will that yeah, I should do it, shouldn't it? Although I'd probably be better off just getting rid of them as well there. Then keep it clean like that. Now we try. Let's see what happens now if I increase, just because we don't want to increase the mesh all over. There's no need, is there? We're just trying to stretch these out a bit. Smooth. And again. Smooth. See? Now if we go back to that sculpting tool, which one was it? It was that one, wasn't it? Start pulling again. Something weird's happened there, look. You get the idea. Look. See the weird shape? It's where the resolution, as I call it, is it's not handling things very well. You can smooth things down with the shift key, I think. So if I go, yeah, that's smooth things down a bit. Yeah, it's not too bad. Oops, what am I pressing? There you go. It's sort of spacing out the points evenly to give you. Yeah, there you go, look. It's still doing that tearing, do you see that? Well, let's carry on anyway. Oh, look. It's coming on a bit weird, isn't it? Right, grab some more of them faces. And you see how it's becoming hard to know where the faces are selected and not selected. There's a button up here, which is pretty cool. Let me close that for a moment. Which one is it? I think it's this one. If we click that, oh, it gets rid of the faces that are not selected. It's also showing you the faces that are not selected on the edge there, but they are going to be affected by this when I pull it. So I think that's probably a good idea to show them as well, which is good. And we can see we haven't selected any faces round anywhere else, so we're not going to get that effect where I'm pulling this, something else is being touched. So we can turn that back on again. And now go to mesh and smooth that even further. See? Maybe even do it again. A lot of triangles, polygons, whatever you want to call them, in there now. A lot to work with. Right, go back to a sculpting tool. Carry on stretching. Okay. It's behaving a bit better now, isn't it, as well? Oh, look at that. See, it's stretching too far. So we can smooth this down a bit. Shift key and move over like that. That's going to try mathematically to even things out instead of them being all points being all in the same vicinity. It's going to, like, not randomize, but give a nice average feel to it. If I click away from it for a moment, exit the sculpting tool, go to object mode and click away from it, you can see it without the mesh selected, and we've got lots of tearing and things going on. Look, see them? I call it tearing. Sometimes they do tear, there's a little hole in them, especially when you render or something. But before the tear, you get this, like a stretch mark. See? And we can increase that, excuse me, we can increase that with the ways I've been showing you. We can, I can either smooth it out, or I can add some more faces. I'm going to add some more faces, I think. Just in this area here, which will of course select, that's nice, I quite like that there, yeah. And it'll also select the other side as well. It's still keeping a nice mirror on the other side. It sometimes can lose it, especially if you start working on one side and turn the mirror off. You're going to lose your mirror. There is ways of getting it back, but in my experience it's really fragile. You can lose it even when you're working in mirror mode and not get it back. So I like to take my time so I can always undo. Right, let's have a look. Let's go for smooth again. So mesh, smooth. There we go. And that should make a big difference now to that tearing effect that we were getting. It's also increased the amount of mesh there on already a high density, which was, so I think I've got an idea. If I invert the selection, it should select that on this area here, and I want to increase the mesh here as well. But there'll be a gap here. Will there? Yeah, there'll be a gap there where I can, you'll see what I'm going to do when I do it. Watch, hang on. Select selections. Invert, where is it? RBC invert. I've got quick selection there. Surfaces. See my eyes, right? Select, where is it? Let's go back to modeling. Run modeling. Where's selection? Oh, terrible, aren't I? I'm gonna have to get the magnifier on the go. Right, selection, where are you? Selection, select. Right, I'm looking for selection all the time. Right, now inverse. Now you see it selected that, and it should have selected all this area, left that now unselected, the area that was selected. So if I go back to that key up here that shows you only the areas you've selected. It's now selected that, like that. So now if I go, if I now deselect just this area, we're going to be left with just these selected. See where I'm coming at? Instead of multiplying that area that I've already multiplied here, which is going to start overdoing it, I'm now catching up in this section here to where that area is. So get rid of that lot here. See what I'm doing? Just to double make sure, go over that again. There, like that. See, there was a couple there I'd missed. Turn this button off and on again. There we go, look. Now we've got the areas that we only want. See the stretching even happening there vertically. Yeah, it's alright. Mesh. Smooth. Where is it? Smooth. There we go. That's better. Now we can start stretching again. Turn that off again. Object mode. See, look, we've still got some stretch marks in there, but we can fix that with the smooth function now. Which is go back into the sculpt mode, and then just hold shift and run over it like that. And that should have helped. See? More rounded, realistic looking thing, you know? Oops. Got to press shift. So that's smoothing that out. Get rid of that bevel. Indentation, sorry. Right. There we go. Very weird, but monsters are meant to be weird. That's the interpretation of the name, isn't it? See, look, look. Now we're getting something that's not mirrored. You see that? There's an indentation there. But I don't see it on the other side. This is what starts happening. No matter what you do, sometimes the mirror starts failing. I know it shouldn't, because maths are supposed to be maths is supposed to be absolute, you know. You're not supposed to be able to go wrong with maths here, but they do go wrong sometimes in modelling. Alright. Anyway, let's get on. A bit more length. Add some. Don't want to add too much because we'll get a bit tearing there. Smooth that out. Right, that should do for the legs. Right. Like I say, this is going to be very weird. And if I hold the Alt key, is it Alt or is it Control? I forget now. I should be able to do the opposite of pulling. I should be able to. Oh, mind you saying that, this tool will let me push in by default, I think. Yeah, there we go. It's not exactly what I was looking for. Hang on. Let me get rid of the grid. We don't need that no more. It's in the way. See these little functions up here? There's lots of little tools to help you while you're working. It's all researchable. I think you can just right click anything and go straight to a website. It's very good, Maya. Very good. Very good for learning. Good fun. Right. Let's increase the size of this. Size. That might be a bit too big, but let's give it a go anyway. There we go. Yeah, that'll do the trick, won't it? We're losing the sphere shape, which is what we want, really, because what animal is a perfect circle? None. Except for maybe some very small creatures like amoebas and whatnot. But we're not talking about that here, we're talking about a monster. Monsters have got to be weird and surreal, not pretty. Well, they can be pretty, I suppose, can't they? As long as they're surreal. If they're not surreal, they turn into animals, don't they? Do they? Do they turn into animals? No, they turn into something that you're not scared of no more, really, or doesn't make you go, ooh, when you see it. So that's not a monster no more, is it? Let's pull the top up, shall we? Yeah, I'm enjoying this. Right. Right. Right, the arms, while we've got a big brush like this, why don't we go for like big beefy arms? Reduce the size just a bit. Yeah. Start pulling the arms out. I'm actually gonna animate this in a program called VR Chat and see what people's reactions are. It's usually quite funny. Right. Start pulling the arms out. Gonna have to smooth again in a moment. See how we're getting something resembling a creature of some sort. Right, now we can go for exit the sculpting tool, you see? Then with the faces. Set them. That should have gone round nicely like that. That'll do for now. Maybe select them ones there as well. And that one. Maybe select that one there. That one there. Very relaxing there, you know. And there. That one there. That one there. Right, just to double check, we've got a nice selection. Go back to that key up here again. I forget what they call it now. But basically what it does, it lets you look at what you selected without having to worry about the things you haven't selected, so you can get an idea of what you're going to start affecting, and that's what we want really, isn't it? I've got a croak in my voice today. Right. Excuse me. Right. Mesh into smooth. Where is it? There we go. This here allows you to. This is something that Autodesk, the company behind Maya, I think I've taken the idea from another program called ZBrush, which is all to do with this sculpting. In fact, it would have probably been fun to build it in that, but I like Maya because you can have individual, you can select individual polygons like this, which I suppose you can do in ZBrush, but Maya's more tailored for the way I like to work. And with the introduction of sculpting tools that they've got from ZBrush, not got from, but inspired by, I should imagine, it's making Maya even better. This here, though, will increase the multiplication of this smoothness here. It's got it by a factor of, I think, maybe 100%, then goes to 2, which is probably 200%. But I'm not that keen on it. I like to just click away. Oops, get my selection again. I like to just keep the selection. When I'm finished, just click away from it and not even use it, because it's a little bit hit and miss. If I knock that up to number 2, this will just explode in resolution. Whereas if I just click the smooth again, this gives me enough, you know? So we'll keep pulling out now. In fact, I might go for another smooth. There we go. Let's try that. See if we might get some stretching here, but I can maybe smooth that out with the smooth tool. We'll see. Let's keep going. We're alright creating the animal or monster. Look, there's a bit of a tear there, you see that? Bit of a sharp edge. Could have done with smoothing a bit in there. But let's just keep going. Right with the T shape for now. Because we're going to put a skeleton in there, which will allow other software programs to animate it. See, we've got some tearing there, and none on that side, and this is supposed to be mirrored. See? So it just start losing its mirror. I'm going to hold down the shift key, and I'm just going to, there you go, look. Let's get rid of that tear there. It's a bit under the arm there, isn't there? Smooth that out, mathematically rounding it off a bit. I think I saw a bit under there. Nice. Right, we're getting there. See, I don't want to increase the resolution around here, like I said, because it's needless amount of processing needed. You know, using too much processing. We could maybe create something for the back. What do you reckon? Right, we've got his arms more or less. Let's just pull them out a bit more. Bit of tearing, look. We're not going to create hands or anything. It's all too much, isn't it? Too much for me anyway. Let's create hands. I can see some dark areas, look. It's where things aren't working the way they should. Right. How are we going to create a head? I like this already. The legs look pathetic and the arms look beefy. Right, head. What should we do for a head? Just a circle now? Or let's go for a Donald Trump. What do you reckon? Donald Trump head. First of all, I'm going to select a face there so that I can make it more centralized like this. Create a circle. Sorry, a sphere. Polygon primitives. Don't worry, it's just selected the new object. It's a bit small. Right, move it into the right place, of course. Up here. And then we can attach that to the chicken, but it looks like a chicken, doesn't it? I realise that now. Right. We can attach that to there. Like this, 2 seconds. Create a new material for it. Assign new material. Let's go for another Lambert. Where's Lambert? Lambert and Butler. The reason I'm creating another material is so that it's not going to, if I don't, and I apply a face to this, the face is going to be all over the body as well. Now the body and the face have got a different name, look. Lambert 2, and the body is Lambert one, I think. Actually, let me get rid of all these instructions that have been put in. The reason I'm doing this is because it gets overcomplicated. Delete all by type history. It's reduced it now so that I can find things, the most important things anyway. Look, that's Lambert 1, and the head is Lambert 2. Two different materials. Right. Let's get a file in there so we can place an image. Here we go. I've got a Donald Trump face in there already, in pictures I think. Where is it? Where is it? Pictures. An eye. Got a woman. Got something. 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 Donald Trump. There he is. One of his best faces. Right. Now to see it in the viewport here, the moment we've got textures disabled. See this little crisscrossy square with the checkerboard on? That will allow us to see things, look, and we can get an idea of what's going on. So I turn the head round first before we do anything else. And the reason it's transparent is because the texture is a PNG file. I forget what it stands for now. It's basically ping. One thing that I like with pings is you can have transparencies. Look, back of his head's missing. That's weird. I would maybe like it to be a bit thicker though, you know. So diffuse, is that the one? Is that the one? No. Translucence. That's sort of doing something in it. Still transparent, but it's made it more defined. That's done nothing. I like just playing around, you see, seeing what happens. Special effects. No, cat, no. Glow intensity, that'll give it a light sort, I think. Well, in theory, not done anything. See, I thought there was a transparency. There we go. It's right in front of me. Oh, hang on. See, it's part of the texture. It's causing the problem. Is it really a problem though? We can see it, can't we? It sort of looks like a hologram. I quite like it. Right, let's get his head on the right way around. Right, we can make his face a bit smaller. If we go to UV, UV is to do with the way an image appears on the surface. I could get really into this in depth because it's one of my favourite parts of modelling. You can model everything the right way you want and whatnot, and it's great fun once you start getting into it. But I'm no way an expert. But if I just select these UVs, like so, and I select the appropriate tool, which is going to be the shrink or enlarge tool, and if I make Windows 7, right, If I make this bigger, sorry, bigger, it should make his face appear smaller, which might give a better effect. See, it's still stretched that way, so if I make that bigger that way, yeah, there we go, we're getting there, aren't we? More of just a face floating there, isn't it? There. And we're also getting his face on the back as well, which might be quite funny. I think we'll just go for that. What do you reckon? It's a transparent ball, but you can't see the ball. You've just got this holographic face of Donald Trump, which is kind of weird. I think we should have a name tag on him, the Trump Master or something like that, because a lot of people don't even know who he is. Can you believe that? Because I've created another model with Trump's face on it, just for a laugh. I don't mean anything against the guy at all. I've got no opinion on him at all. I just think it's quite funny because he's a bit of a celebrity and it's funny. I don't know, that's all. Right, let's go for... You see, it looks like he's got a bit of a pot belly, doesn't he, and a bit of a bent back. Right, let's go for... Just trying to think now. Should we go for Trump is best? Let's open up Photoshop. Photoshop. If you can open up all these programs in your computer, make sure you've got some decent RAM. I had 8 gig, which at one time 8 gig was sufficient. I have to have modeling open and some media player open and Steam and whatnot all at the same time. 8 gig quickly gets eaten up, and you get real problems in Photoshop when you haven't got much memory. It will tell you you've run out of memory. Let's just go for a new image. Control C, or is it just C for crop? Isn't it? C for crop, isn't it? Right. A bit bigger like that, so we get more of a horizontal thing going on. Get some text. I tell you what we could do. This will be fun. Create some text, but in 3D, so it stands out. I like doing that. Right. Oh, Trump is best. Okay. It's in blue. That'll do for now. So, caps lock. Trump. Enter. Is. Enter. Best. I don't know if that's going to look okay, but let's highlight it anyway. Make it bigger. 48. Trump is best. Change the font around a bit. Trump is best. I like that one. For quickness. See? Not there. Is blue okay? What do you reckon? It's not bad. I'll leave a bit of room for the 3D effect. Right. Now there's something I've got to do here, and I think it's converted to a smart object, or is it converted to... That's converted to shape. That's the one. Smart objects are pretty cool. They're to do more with they store information while you're changing things. If I was to reduce the size of this after it had been rasterized, I'd lose the resolution. In other words, if I tried to increase the size of it again, it would be all out of the resolution of it would be all checkered. But smart objects can keep the resolution. Convert to shape. Now, it hasn't changed anything to look at. What it's done, it's changed the format so that we can work with 3D processing a bit better. Now, if I go to 3D, I think it just goes straight in there. Is it? Create a new 3D object. So it's 3D postcard rubbish, right? Let's just right click, new 3D extrusion from selected layers. It seems to be doing something. There we go, I like that. What do you reckon? Jump is best. And we can get really into this and change the colours and the way it looks, but I actually quite like it like that. I think there's an option for cleaning up all these little jagged edges and things. Rendering. I forget where it is now. 3D render. Let's just try that. Jumps out from the background, doesn't it? We can literally just save that as an image, take it across to Maya. It's all good fun. So you've got to have some RAM to do all this. This wouldn't have worked before, not with all the other programs open. And it can be a pain, I tell you, when it runs out of RAM. I haven't even tested to see if I can run all these yet under my current setup. I've got 16GB in there, which is not impressive by today's standards, but it's enough for this. So I do suggest, if you're going to start using Photoshop especially, and Maya at the same time, or something similar, like a lot of people like doing video editing, don't they, like After Effects or Sony Vegas. Especially Sony Vegas, you'll see a big jump in processing speed if you get some memory. Your processor alone doesn't always speed things up. If the memory's not there, your computer has to carry on buffering information into the hard drive, so you get this bottleneck. Things slow down because of the bottleneck, which will be your hard drive and RAM configuration, blah blah blah. You know. Then you can go even further. You can get an SSD hard drive, which is all electrical hard drive. Hard drives are usually just disks within a metal box flying around, and you know they've been fine for years, but speed is what it's all about. And when SSD came along, it replaced the mechanical aspect of a hard drive, and it's all now chips, just like in just like your memory sticks that you can buy, but in a hard drive configuration for your PC. And that speeds up your computer no end. In fact, that's probably, combined with the RAM and an SSD, you can really speed your machine up without even touching your processor. So if you hear somebody saying you need a new processor, look at them things first. They'll probably be cheaper options. Your SSD can cost you from anything from like 100 to 300, 400 even, for a really good one. But I would say you can get a good one for about 150. And your RAM is fairly cheap. You can get 16 gig can cost about, is it about £50, I think, something like that. That's not much at all, is it, to speed up your processor, your speed, I mean. And then when you want to get yourself an i7 processor, you're not going to see any benefits from that i7 processor unless you really upgrade your RAM and, well, your hard drive so-so, but definitely your RAM. Your processor can't work properly if it can't move things around. If it hasn't got no room to move things around, and that's what the RAM's for. Right, we've got his image. Can I just save that now as it is? Let's try it. Save as in pictures, call it, let's get JPEG. I'm hoping everything just works as it's supposed to. Let's have a look. I've got lots of weird pictures, haven't I? Right, JPEG, let's call this Trump is best. I like making weird weird things. Right, Trump is best. Right, save. That should do it. I mean, the white background is okay. If I don't like it, we can come back. Okay. Back to Maya. Now we want to select just the front here. The way we do that is it's literally select the front like that. Go back to that thing up here, so now we can see what we've selected and we can get rid of the things we don't want. Not there. Turn it off and on again. See what I'm getting at? See, because we've got the symmetry selected. Hang on, puss. Hang on a bit. Just want to feed it way too early. Right. Do a bit of that there. Let's try that. I'm not so sure what's going to happen with this lot here. But what I've selected this for here is I can now just select these surfaces to be able to paint onto with that image. So if I go to UV, hang on, let me square this up a bit first. And we want it like a frontal. So when people look at it, they want to see it from a frontal point of view, don't they? Like that. So if I go to UV, camera base, do you see this here? Now that's going to take all these UVs I've selected and create a canvas just on them, ready for me to paste the picture on. So now it says caps lock is on. Right. So now if I go to UV and then UV editor, you see, look, the selected areas should be a little bit easier to work with, even though it's a bit of a mess, isn't it, there? So if I go to UV, right, 2 seconds. What I want to do is cut this out. Can I just move it? Wonder what'll happen. I thought that'd happen. Right, we've got what we wanted. We've got that piece of front there, look, nice like that. So let's go back. Now there is a key or a button to detach all that. I'll go to select. Let's have a look around. It's all part of the fun. Right. Am I on select? Yeah. Right, I can convert the selection into various different things. What I'm heading for is I want a line going round the edge. Around the edge of all this selection here. So that we can then use that line as a way of cutting out the UVs. I wonder what will happen if I... I can always go back. Right, let's just go to edge. See what happens if I double click. See, that's gone into the areas that are invisible. That's not what I wanted. It's too fine around them edges to go around individually, isn't it? So if I... it's getting a bit tricky now, isn't it? Not impossible though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video now and do a bit of research and then do a part 2 to this. Save it as it is right now this second, because this is getting pretty interesting. I like this. I like doing all the ins and outs. And then we'll carry on. So I'll save the video and then we'll come back. Okay? But thank you for watching. Thank you very much. And oh, if you can please subscribe to my channel if you see me for the first time, or like the video, and then I'll know to carry on with this type of work on the channel. And what you will like to see is, you see, when I've finished this model, I'm going to introduce it into a social software thing called VR Chat with Donald Trump running around, and everybody seems to use generic avatars, you know, like a robot or things like that. Silly things that are really boring. And when they see somebody like Donald Trump running around, you get a real reaction out of them. So I'm going to be doing that possibly in the next video, because I'll have finished by then. Right. So, well, it will be the next video, yeah. I'll follow it up straight away. But at the moment, I just need to research how to get this edge cut out again. There's a way of doing it, and I think it's up here somewhere. But I need to make sure, instead of just faffing around and keeping you all watching me while I go through each button, I'll research it now. Right, I'm going to log off. Thank you for watching. Right, where are we? OBS. Stop streaming.